Welcome back to another episode of Love, Life, and Legacy, the podcast dedicated to helping you navigate these hypersexualized times of ours. And in today's episode, we actually have another set of guest hosts, and guests. We have Peter and Polina, who are talking about their experience with our Radiant program. And a Radiant program is specifically designed for couples who are already blessed in marriage to enhance their blessing, to go to the next level of love and intimacy, and experiencing more of the good stuff and working on their shadows to chase away the bad stuff so that it just simply has no place in their relationship. So we have a testimony from Peter and Polina today, but they are interviewed by Andranik and Sandra, his wife, who have been huge champions of this program. You know, Andranik is our official European chapter leader, but both he and his lovely wife really feel responsible for couples. And so they've taken it upon themselves to really make Radiant as amazing as possible. And it really comes out in this episode. So enjoy. If you are single, please help this to be like life goals for you, like information for you to create a vision for your own one day blessing. And if you are blessed, regardless of whether things are going well and you want them to go better, or if they're really fraying, you know, if the seams are fraying, if things are a little tight, then use this as motivation to know that, you know, everybody, regardless of where they're at in their journey, is able to experience true love. It's just a matter of easing into the role of being blessed. So let's unpack this together with Sandra, Andranik, Peter, and Polina. Enjoy, everybody.
Hello, everyone. We're
Hello.
live. Maybe this is the first time I'm doing this podcast episode by myself, or like without Andrew steering the ship. So yeah, the training wheels are off. Glad to be here with my wife Sandra as well. Say hello.
Hello.
We are here last time, I think, in February maybe, or
Yeah, a
something
while
like
ago,
that.
yeah.
An episode where we were being interviewed, and this time we're inviting someone else to be interviewed. So Sandra, tell us more about them.
Yeah, so for today's episode, we invited a Radiant blessed couple. They aren't Radiant only because they completed the Radiant program, but simply because they're individual characters, and their positive vibe that they radiate together. They're just radiant. And they're also an international couple. You know, Peter is from Austria, Polina is from Russia, and they received the marriage blessing last year in 2023. And since then, Polina moved to Vienna to join Peter and live together. They often host people in their home, including us. And I can tell you, Polina cooks like a real chef. And Peter makes sure that we wake up on time to catch our flights. So honestly, it's really always a pleasure to meet them and their brightness. So yeah, Polina and Peter, welcome to the Heinen podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much for that introduction. Yeah.
And you're now the Diningers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're Diningers.
Yeah.
It was difficult to change the surname in my mind, first of all. Yeah, but it was...
Takes a while until you switch in your mind. Yeah.
But now the letters are the same, like PD, Peter Deininger, and Polina Deininger, PD. So
that's true.
You have the same initials. That's
that's
it's
true.
a big
Wow.
thing.
Wow, that's nice. And where are you guys right now, actually? Because you're not in Austria, not in Russia. Where are you?
Yeah, somewhere in the middle. It's we're in Armenia right now. We just completed like a hike, 4-day hike, like doing 20 kilometers each day. We are super stoked about that. Like we actually succeeded, and we are really happy to found the time for this podcast. Somehow there is Armenia is very close to our heart because it's the birthplace of our couple in a way, and we came back here and had a lot of memories and places. Today actually we visited the place where we actually decided that we would go to the matching and blessing together. and that was a lot of beautiful memories. So yeah, we are very happy to revisit that.
Wow. Armenia is well, that's interesting. You said the birthplace of your couple. Armenia is the birthplace of me, and I understand how that works. But the birthplace of your couple, now you said, so you met there for the first time, you got matched there?
Yeah, we met first time. We decided to meet together, like to see each other for the first time there. After the half a year of talking just by Zoom, and yeah, somehow Armenia became a country we decided to be together, and for us it's a really warm country, and yeah, it's forever in our hearts. So somehow we try to visit Armenia often. Yeah. And now it's this time.
Yeah, no, it's really like Armenia is the middle ground, let's say. And Polina is half Armenian. So we are at Polina's grandfather's place right now, at Dedushka's place. And he is actually, a wonderful guy, and we feel like at home here.
Yeah.
This background, by the way, is an Armenian carpet.
In any apartment, you will see the carpet on the walls. So
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah, that's a thing there. I remember from my grandparents to my uncles, aunts, everywhere. They just put carpets on walls.
Yeah.
I have to say I'm a bit jealous. I knew about this hike. I really wished I could be there, but I guess just this time the time didn't align. But I have my sights set on making it there. So
next time.
yeah. Yeah. So let's you're joining the High Noon podcast. You know what's waiting now. We're gonna dig into you guys, into your couple, into your relationship a bit, and kind of unfold more of your story for our listeners. We have some, we would like to start with just maybe right at the beginning, your matching journey. We'd like to ask you, what were some key elements of your preparation, and what qualities did you strive to develop in yourselves at the very, very beginning?
It's a really interesting question. Actually, when we were thinking about what to tell, it's super important was for us to really understand, just to be clear in our mind. When I was thinking what was the key point for me to prepare for the matching, I think you're never enough prepared, maybe. You're never enough prepared for the matching. And you cannot feel it, maybe, really. But when I was trying to prepare for that, and I knew that my parents were searching for someone, maybe I was trying to be more united with my parents. Because if you trust someone to find a spouse for yourself, you need to be really united with these people. And if I was
easy to do that?
Somehow I was trying always tell everything to my parents about all my difficulties, but it was really hard when I was facing something to tell to my parents that I'm facing this problem and I'm not like this. And because sometimes parents have some expectations from you, and maybe they see you in one, they create the image of you, like you're always the best child for your parents. You're always the perfect child. You are like the angel. You are their beloved daughter. And maybe for God it's the same. For the God, for parents is always the same. You are the most important, the most loved and child. But of course, when the child comes to you and say like, I'm facing this problem, you feel like parents can be disappointed. But since one workshop, I decided to be just really clear and honest and don't care about what they will feel. I knew that even if they will be disappointed, at least they will know my situation and they will be more aware. And it will be more helpful for all of us to be in this process, because if parents don't know about you, they cannot help you. They cannot even, maybe they give the search for the right person, maybe for you. I don't know how to say the right person again. But if they don't know about you anything, they cannot help you. So you help them to help you. And of course, it's really hard sometimes. Many many children in general in the world facing this problem. They cannot tell honestly to their parents who they are and what happens to them. But for me, somehow, maybe parents created for me the safe environment so I could tell them everything. So somehow, for me, it was the key that I tell my parents everything and they know me. So I was like, okay, they know me. Everything will be fine. Everything will be okay.
Yeah, for me too. Like honesty is such a big point. I mean, it's obviously like that's the first thing that comes to mind for many. But it's why is it so important? You have to be able to be honest to your parents. Most of all, you have to be honest to your future partner. You know, and that was a big thing about you. Actually, you were always thinking. I remember, you know, everything I do, I'm gonna have to tell to my future partner, and that's a big integrity thing because you're holding yourself accountable. If finally you don't do that, if you don't tell everything to your partner, eventually that's gonna come out. There's no way around that. You know, you cannot hide anything to your spouse. The blessing cannot stand on that. You cannot expect your spouse to deal with baggage that you haven't disclosed to them. You know, on purpose. That's not gonna work. That wasn't part of the deal. Like blessings in some way a contract. And if you don't disclose, it's everything that is wrong about the car, that's fraud. Before to the buyer, so in some sense, of course, people are not cars. In general, this is true. Like you have to be able to be honest to your future spouse, and I think that's so crucial. And to be honest, that was hard for me to deal with, let's say, because I have some baggage. I was dealing with masturbation for a time, and I felt like, okay, if I don't deal with that before I can start my matching process, that's going to be I would not be able to live with myself, let's say. But my problem was I didn't reach out. I didn't reach out to anyone, neither to my parents or to just tiny support group. And that was a big mistake, obviously, because you need that accountability partner. But still, somehow I managed by sheer force of will to stop, let's say, 1 year before I started my matching processes. And it was really something profound it was really something important for me to do. I felt I needed to first be in control of myself, to be able to be sure that when have decided that I can decide upon the matching. Like if I'm strong enough to control myself completely, then I am strong enough to say, look, I can and stay together with my spouse for forever, like, no matter what happens, let's say, because I am my own master, and that's really really important. That was really important for me. But in some sense, it was not easy at all. Like the way I stopped, my way of stopping, let's say, that habit was to just give a promise to God. Okay, now, today, it ends. I promise. And 1.5 years later, I broke that promise. That was devastating. That was horrible. I was in a very bad situation with my bachelor's thesis. I was cutting myself off to finish that thesis because basically my life was depending on it. And I did many bad decisions that led to me being completely depressed. And the final straw was me breaking the promise I made to God. And for me, that was not something I could see myself doing. And that was really terrible. You know, I had already done the interview that you have to do for the blessing, that you should do for the blessing. Finally, when I finished my thesis and I was able to overcome that habit again, but still, you know, that knowledge that I had broken that promise was very heavy. So I decided to go to the interview again because that's doable. You know, you can do it again. And the amazing part was that during the interview, the supporter tells you, you know, like after you've said everything in detail, which makes you completely emotional because it's very hard to face. You get forgiven. That was unbelievably profound for me to realize but to feel that God did not resent me or change his love for me at all because I broke his promise to him. That was really healing. And it completely changed my life, to be honest.
Mm. Yeah, well, at some point, maybe 5 minutes ago, I was gonna ask you, would you like to unpack that? And then you unpacked that.
So I wanted to also ask, because I was asked this question before when we were interviewed, that Polina, how did you feel when you heard all this from Peter? I guess Peter unpacked everything because he wanted to be honest, right? And wanted to really create a truthful relationship with you. So how did you feel about hearing all this?
Well, I remember that before the study matching process, it's an interesting question, but before the study matching process, I knew what is the most important for me. And the most important for me was that my future spouse did not have relationships before. Even if the person had, I don't know, maybe if even had the person had some ceremony to liberate from this, for me, it's important that our relationship will be the first relationship for both of us, first and only. And maybe in 2 months, we were reading the Hunduke. It was our condition to read the Hunduke and discuss. And we were preparing Hunduke in turn. And there was I don't know what this Hunduke was about, but somehow I started the topic about some kind of these problems with love or pure love. And I remember that for both of us, it was not easy to talk about. And I remember, Peter, you were not that prepared with me. You were not that prepared. But Peter decided to tell me that he had this problem. Somehow I knew that sometimes people have this kind of problems. I mean, I also had problems. Maybe I will tell a bit later, but I realized that the person overcame this, and I could clearly see it in Peter that he does not face this problem at all anymore. And I realized that, of course, all of us are not all of us can face some kind of problems like this. And I told him my problem after. My problem was with the YouTube videos, because there was one YouTube channel I was just watching the videos, and videos was okay. It was like one guy who was doing some jokes, but he started playing a couple of videos, like he started playing man and playing woman, like a couple. And somehow my brain, I did not realize that I'm watching something bad, like not something bad, but something which can impact in my mind and my vision of a couple, let's say. I'm really vulnerable to this kind of videos, because some people can watch it and don't feel anything, but I start feel something really, it was bringing me to the hell. I don't know why. I felt really bad. But I could not stop watching this because my brain was like, you were watching this before. Everything is okay. Everything is nice. But it's a trap, actually. It's a trap. And after the workshop about blessing, the blessing preparation workshop, I realized like it was somehow, it opened my eyes on what I'm watching, what kind of environment I create around myself, around me, yeah. And I just deleted YouTube completely. I just cut it, everything, and it's somehow. And now I'm really strong. I'm not watching, like, let's say, even the videos were coming again. I mean, I downloaded YouTube, of course. Of course, I downloaded YouTube after. And when the videos were coming again, I was just deleting them or swiping them. So somehow I was saying, no, I'm not the person who watched this kind of videos. I don't want. I mean, of course, maybe this problem are completely different to the like masturbation. Maybe it's not that hard, but for me it was really hard. And so somehow I just decided to share with the Peter that I'm also not perfect. Like, if we overcame this problem, so it's fine. It's okay. And we decided to go in another direction. So maybe we both can go together in another direction. I felt like this. So so for me, just I wanted to be sure that our relationship will be the first relationships, like in the future, like the first sexual relationships, first love relationships. For me, it was really important, really important. So yeah, I was not worried. I did not feel bad about, I did not feel bad. I was actually really grateful that we can be honest. We can be honest in our matching process. So I felt like, okay, we can go on. Yeah, it was hard. It was difficult
to tell.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
it was a big step, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we took our time with that. It's a question like when do you address that? My father is my father's advice or way of doing, and that's how he won my mother over. Was the very first thing he did was to list all of the bad things he did and all of his negative traits. That
Oh,
was the
wow.
first thing, and it worked for my mother because she was like, oh, with this man, this honest man, I can imagine. I can imagine making a family
Wow.
because he was saying I'm so arrogant, and my mother was like, an arrogant person would never say that he's arrogant. But yeah, your father was saying the contrary.
Yeah, somehow when we had a week before our first meeting to prepare like my condition, and I was thinking about like what to tell in the first meetings, what I can tell about myself. And I was walking with my dad and I was asking like, okay, I'm actually not perfect, but what I can tell honestly that I'm this, and this, or if I will be telling about all goods, it's like I will create my perfect image. And my father told me that try to be nice. Try to be nice. Like try to not be that bad. I mean, don't tell right after like you this and this and this. Just try to be nice.
That's quite a thing for a father to say.
I mean,
At least try,
at least
Just
try
try
like
to
to
be
show your original mind first. Show your original mind, but of course be honest. But show your original mind first.
Hmm.
It's
Wow.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I would
Yeah.
definitely recommend not doing what my father did. To get to know each other first, at least for a week, But it needs to be said. Yeah, that's for sure.
Right. Well, that's the foundation, right? Of if we're building a relationship to last a lifetime, the foundations of that cannot be some sticks and sand and whatever we find, right?
Yeah.
And it's amazing to hear from you both how courageous you were. And first of all, really addressing in your own personal lives first your own shadows. So and Polina, you mentioned, maybe your shadows were not as bad, as porn or masturbation or these kind of things, but actually the action itself that people struggle with is often interchangeable. The point is the process that, right? People struggle because there's a lack of love in their hearts, right? And then they're trying to fill it with something.
Mhm.
And no matter what it is, but yeah, when you're struggling in that kind of place as a human, it's tough. Whether that's so many people, so many of us, right, are on our phones and scrolling too much and on social media too much, and that's already an addiction that, or like an escape. It's trying to fill up our hearts, trying to escape kind of uncomfortable emotions, maybe uncomfortable feelings inside, some kind of lack in an unhealthy way. And so, yeah, but you chose to really boldly and courageously, both of you, take action first, which is, that's amazing to hear, that you could do that. And then also that added next step of, sharing that with a person you're trying to create a life together with. We know with Sandra as well how crucial that is, how really important that is, and how difficult that is as well to do. Yeah, so now it's a bit over a year later, happily ever after, right? Yeah, let's maybe unpack a bit. How's it been in the past year? Your first year of the blessing. Has anything surprised you? Has anything challenged you in this first year? And and in general, just how's it been, kind of transitioning or moving on from that second realm of love into the third, into conjugal love? That's a whole new world, right? So
Whole new world.
so let's get into that.
We spent most of that year online. To be honest, we really used that a lot. We really used that to the maximum possible. Like we spent 2 hours a day, or maybe every 2 days. Actually, maybe more 4. And we just talked, about a lot of things. And we really like to do that because actually it was the only thing we could do. And we really went all in, and now we miss it because now we live together and now we talk less, interestingly now. But anyway, to be honest, it was an amazing thing to finally move in together. We did this 3 months ago. We started family life somewhere in Russia, in the deep ends of Russia, in the snow. We rented a very nice hut, like with one of these baths that you could heat by a wooden oven. That's it.
Wow.
And that was, very romantic, and we loved it. What did we learn from that time?
I think it's a question I want to ask myself and discuss with Peter every year, because I think every year is a step somehow, and of course you can have some lessons what to develop. But it was the first year after the blessing, so the most maybe bright, but no, for us at least the
I hope
most.
the rest will be brighter.
Yeah, the rest will be brighter, but for now it's a really bright year. And yeah, as Peter said, we spend most of this year online, but we're trying to develop our romantic relationships. Somehow we were trying to make some dates together. We did
some candlelight dinners, online.
dinner online. Yeah, you cannot see candles because candles somehow reflect in the camera. It's like your head is so bright, and that's all. But it was really nice.
We were wearing suits, like
Wearing
very
suits.
nice clothes, as it should be.
Yeah.
But it took that long, there was no way to make it any faster because, you don't talk about it much, but like after the blessing, you have to get married officially, you have to start making all the documents. And that was especially difficult for couples that are, let's say, in and out of Europe. Europe has high standards. They want to have all the proofs, let's say, to let somebody come in to the country. Especially Austria is very famous for its difficult let's say, immigration laws. And it took that long. We just had to do everything step by step, and it took more than 7 months.
Yeah. And anyway, it was really, really nice online time because we really were trying to still discuss some important topics, and especially we planned our starting our family life. We really planned that, especially from an internal point of it of this question. Of course, there was a 40 days separation after the blessing, but somehow we planned to start a family life much later. And we decided to make a special condition before to really prepare our hearts to start this period in our life. And it was so amazing because we could somehow create a common vision and to share our expectations is not the right word, but what we want, what we see, how we see it, how we see our family life in general, how we see our intimate life in general. And somehow it was really amazing to discuss before. And yeah, we were trying to read some books. I mean, this famous book, Corn of the Universe.
Core of the universe. Yeah.
Sorry, I said corn.
Worm of the universe. Well,
Corn of the universe. Second.
that's the next one, right?
Core of the Universe, like amazing book, and I think to read it sometimes would be nice. But yeah, it was really, really amazing, and yeah.
Hey everybody, Andrew Love, and I just wanted to stop this episode real quick and remind you all that it's not a mistake that these couples are doing really well. And one amazing way of accomplishing that on a daily basis, whether you're single or whether you will find yourself in a blessing already, is to read the Core of the Universe book together. This book has been specifically put together to be an experience. It's not just a book. There's words from true parents. There's a lot of really cool stories in there. There's testimonies. But at the end of every section, there are questions because it's meant to be engaging and interactive. So go to highnoon.org/core and pick up a copy. We deliver it all over the world. We have set this up to make it as easy as possible for you to get yourself a copy. We have got you. Just go to highnoon.org/core and get yourself a copy. It's a game changer. If you would like to experience the same quality of love and adoration that you see in these beautiful couples. All right, let's get back to it.
But the lesson, many lessons like about intimate life, that actually it's the most important part in conjugal love, intimate life. In Russia, we were always like taught by like you have to pay attention more in your internal preparation, like internal connection with your future spouse. And we were not talking about intimate life at all. In Russia, you will not meet this kind of special workshops about intimate life. Let's say
It's very good that we have it in Europe.
yes, it's really really good. It was really surprising for me, and I'm really happy about that. That brothers and sisters can participate in this kind of workshops here, and I think in Russia we also have to do that. That's why our image was a bit different, and even after starting the family life, we still had some kind of conversation. We had to somehow create a common vision, because for Peter, he was always saying that intimate life for him and in general should be the most important. Somehow it should be really developed. We should really invest in it. It's not something which I also knew that like it's not something which will come naturally. It will be so simple, and it's not something you wouldn't have to invest in. Like it will come. Oh, it exists.
Right.
But what the most important is to read books together. Of course.
Yeah,
like-
well, yeah. I just want to slot in here because what you're sharing here is so counterculture, right? Counter Hollywood culture, counter all of that nonsense that we're being fed in this world, that generally a man and woman, they just meet, they just have this chemistry, and they just like, attach to one another, and then they have the most amazing
yeah.
sex ever on the first night, right? And that's
That's the
it's like
yeah.
sexual relationship in general is so distorted in culture and let's say in our societies. And what you guys are talking about, it's probably one of the most beautiful things that are, as a movement, we've been creating, is like this opposite thing of like, imagine a couple take their first night so intentionally that they study, they plan, they talk with each other, they book a hut somewhere in
Beautiful
Russia
place.
with a bath that you heat with some wood. Like, I mean, that's just revolutionary in a way, I think, especially when you think, I don't know how you guys what you've heard, what friends you have, but the kind of stories and experiences I've heard from other people around is it's nothing like that. Usually people don't have such a special experience of first love. And yeah,
Mm.
that's just so amazing to hear from you both.
To put it into perspective, because my father was a Catholic priest before he joined the movement, which makes it it puts into perspective the amount of education about intimate life I got in my childhood. And Polina's parents were very on a similar level, let's say, of education. So it's funny, like you need at least a little bit of education, and from your parents, ideally. It's a proof, because we are really doing well at the moment. That is something I want to share. Like we are doing something. We have started at zero, not touching at all before the matching. After the matching, we were holding hands. We were very strict, and then at the blessing, we really started to go methodically explore, and that was very interesting for us to get to know each other. And what I would really recommend during the period of that, maybe there's some period after blessing where you cannot move in together yet. It doesn't, because generally that's the case. There's some preparations that need to be done. Start already, start already to romance each other, to be romantic, to say things that are risky. Really go into that field as much as both of you are comfortable with, and use that time, because you're only going to have that once in your entire life. The time after the blessing, you're not moved in together yet. Really use that as much as you can, and that really helped us to we really went deeply into romance. We really went deeply into doing whatever we could to even online, to really go. And it really helped us then when we started family life. Then it really takes a lot of work, as you said, Andy. It's not at all like Hollywood. It takes a lot of work. It took us 3 months to get where we are now, to really say, yeah, we are actually quite happy about where we are. And that just takes time, and it might even take much longer. And that's completely fine. But at the same time, it's you have a lot of pressure on you. You know, as a man, as a woman, you have to perform in a certain way. It's not at all clear that this is
Yeah.
how it's that this is how it's not at all like this. You know, you should take time together. You should get to know each other. This is a process, and it really takes months.
Yeah, so another way to connect deeply and intimately is actually one of the programs of High Noon, which is meant for couples. It's called Radiant, and you both took part in it. We were your facilitators, actually, and I will be honest, I loved our group. I was looking forward to every call because it was just so nice to really come back and to talk with each other and just be together as European wives. And yeah, somehow every call turned out to be very meaningful for me. And now actually both of you are coming back as facilitators. So yeah, how was your experience at Radiant? What made you come back as facilitators now?
Yeah, it was amazing to have you two as facilitators, and at the same time, you know, taking part of the program at the same time. As a couple, we both have you as a couple as facilitators. And it's amazing to have this kind of, I mean, on my side of this broadest group, you know, everybody to have this people to really share your ideas and your experiences with how can I make my couple even better, you know, and how can I improve our intimate life? What is things that are holding me back? You know, and that's super important. You know, you keep each other accountable. That's what many people are missing. It's interesting. Like, do you want to compare yourself to other couples or not? But like, it's an opportunity to see, okay, what are other couples doing? Do we want to do that? Do we not want to do that?
Somehow I was so inspired in general about this idea, and that's cool that like wives separately and husbands separately could discuss some important topics. And I remember, Sandra, you told the phrase that in general you told what's the meaning of this group is like one of the points to discover how we wives can make our husbands more happy. And for me, it was like really good point to know how to make happy in any way, how to make our life happy, what we can do to make our partner happy. That was really inspiring for me, and somehow, but it was difficult also to share some things. I was like, from some point, intimate life should be really private, and what is the most important, you don't have to gossip about the partner. It's clear, and it was really nice that we could create a safe atmosphere inside, that we could somehow share our opinions, our situations in a way that we can tell that without any extra information, let's say, and really share what we can do and help each other and support each other. And it was so natural, and we created this atmosphere, and that was so nice that it worked. For me, at least, I saw that it worked. So somehow I just wanted try to do the same, because for me the topic of intimacy for now really important in general, that to share with this atmosphere I have now inside me, in the sense that intimate life is important and we can be happy in our life. And how can we be happy? And somehow, yeah, I would love to also try to create with another girls in a group together, create a safe, harmonious atmosphere so it can work. Yeah.
Yeah, we can basically just share the results that before Radiant started, we were having much more trouble with our intimate life than we did now. And I think a lot of the content, you know, Andrew Love, best guy, you know, a lot of the content is just so damn poignant. Like, you can really understand there's a lot of really good stuff in the Radiant program that we really been talking about and discussing about. And yeah, to share that, also very practical stuff. It was really nice for us to also, you have to talk about everything as a couple. Even the things that you think are obvious, you need to talk about. And that's really helpful to do, because sometimes it's not that obvious for the partner at all. And it's really nice to do that. It's something we're really inspired about, because now we are in a really good place, as I said. And I think everybody every human being has is a cup, of love. And if you fill that cup to overflow, then other people will be really benefited as well. So basically, you want to give as much love to your spouse as possible, because then they will be happy, and just spread that love everywhere. And you can do that vice versa. That's why the intimate life is a very good way to share love and to give love to your spouse. And when you do that, everyone benefits. It's like a little powerhouse of give and take, little nuclear power plant of give and of love that gives, that radiates that around. And so that's what you want. You want to be there and use that advice, take that advice. We read a lot of books. We read Real Love. We're trying to read, actually, Real Love. There's also one good book, Christian book, actually, that's called Intended for Pleasure, that we are trying to get through. Also can recommend, the thing, and also, of course, Core of the Universe. And that is something that we read even before the blessing, Core of the Universe. But any time before you start family life, I think it's very nice to read. It really helped us a lot to understand the potential of it, and to not see it as something, not, as I said, we have a certain background. I'm a Christian, from my past. The Christian background is very downplaying that.
It's very
Yeah.
modest, right?
Somehow, in that respect, and that's fine, but as soon as you want to start family life, it's important to get through that content. And yeah, Radiant is, of course, very good to pull that content back up and to see it.
Yeah.
Who
So
would you advise to join Radiant, actually? What kind of couples would you recommend the program to?
Of course, any kind of problems can be talked about. Like couples that have been struggling with the intimate relationship, they'll figure it out eventually by themselves, but you want to figure it out faster than can come to Radiant. And it's really nice to talk to someone about it, but I think it's fine even if you don't have any problems. You can share what you did to not have any, and that means that it's quite an interesting information to have. I think building a culture of kind of sharing about it is quite helpful. Might be quite helpful, because you might have couples that don't have an good intimate life at all, but they see it as normal, and they don't really, because they have nothing to compare to. They don't really pull that potential, and that might be, those kind of couples might be maybe the most important to reach.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Polina, what do you think?
I think that sometimes it is, as I said, it was for me a challenge sometimes to share about something maybe personal, something maybe a bit intimate. But I realized that it's exactly we're talking about community, heavenly parent community, and it means that we grow together, we help to grow together, and it's actually not a problem to have small wives community, small husband community, when we can try to grow together. And yeah, it's actually really nice. And for couples who want to participate in a Radiant program, they can really meet support there and be a support for another participants.
Yeah.
Maybe some couples can think like, okay, it's my time to gossip about my partner and to discuss my partner with another participant, but it's not this. So if couples think like this, it will be like this. It's not. It's not about gossip about your partner. It's about how to make your partner more happy in any sphere. And that's the goal. I just wanted to say the small phrase that it's exactly the goal for the whole life when we go to the matching process and go to the blessing. We have a commitment to make our partner happy. It's our goal. So in any way, it's our goal for every day. And if you have this opportunity, use this for this. I think that's what couples can expect from Radiant program.
So you're joining as facilitators, and Polina is actually on this really special kind of mission here, opening up Radiant for Russian-speaking wives as well.
Yeah.
That's really exciting, and I'm very grateful. Yeah, but like you said, Polina here, making your spouse, your husband or wife happy, and I don't think there's a upper ceiling to that. I don't think there's a limit to that. Everyone can always learn how to do that more, how to do that even more each day. And yeah, so Radiant is just, it's that program, is that place for us couples to get together, to talk. And really, husbands need husbands, like guys need guys, women need women in their lives. And I remember talking to Benji recently, and he had a very interesting point here as well. Your problems in the relationship, when you just kind of talk about it with guys, you talk about it with girls, the problems just become smaller. They just kind of lose their power and grip over you, and then you can come back to the relationship feeling, just more able to go through, the challenges that you're facing. So in general, time is short. We need to wrap up already. What a conversation this has been, right? We started with kind of unfolding I think a tiny sliver of your story, because it sounds like it's really exciting. Actually, you were traveling a lot. You were really connecting over very long distances, and really figuring it out every step of the way. Also, I think many couples might relate to this as well. Your story of how you had to share your shadows or your past kind of mistakes with each other, and experience both giving grace, receiving grace from one another. That's really precious. And in general, thank you for your openness and being so kind to join, even though you're traveling right now in Armenia. Thank you for your insights, on intimate life as well. And this has been really nice, really good. Thank you. Anything you'd like to finish on? Any last words?
Really grateful for this opportunity to share, and really hope that a lot of couples will follow this new Radiant program. Hope that we can be good facilitators. Sorry, my English is really bad. Somehow we also can grow through this. So I'm really looking forward to talk with our sisters and brothers and
just join. Maybe we'll be in the same group.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll be as lucky as me and Sandra were to accidentally find yourself in Austria, stranded on a highway, and then you call Peter and Polina, and you crash at their home, and they're very kind, and they feed you all kinds of wonderful dinners. And yeah. So thank you.
It was a crazy time. It was amazing that you came.
that was during our Radiant quarter, like last quarter. That was just middle of the program. But I remember that we were in Austria, we were stuck, and I just thought, okay, who can I call? Well, Peter. I know him. And we're spending every week, we're talking with each other about our couple, about our intimate life, about sex, about all kinds of things. Who else would I call when I'm in trouble then? When we're so connected, we're so close as brothers, right? So
thanks for hosting us in this difficult time. It was very important that we could rely on you.
All
It
right.
was a real joy having you over and having this podcast together.
Right. It's been a pleasure. See you, dear blessed couples, on the registration form for Radiant, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
see you on the next one.
See you.
Bye.
See you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Hey, did you know that our team wants to do more events? Well, if you want to bring the High Noon message to your community or group, then let us know and we'll try to work something out. There's a simple application that you can fill out right now at highnoon.org/invite. And one of our team members will get back to you to see what's possible. That's highnoon.org/invite. All right, see you in the next episode.